Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you all had a great Thursday. We're going to obviously take a look at Bitcoin. It is battling with our resistance at 19,500 right now, so we'll take a look at what's going on there. We'll also take a look at the miners. The miners did pretty good today. Most of them are up. I think two only were down, but we'll take a look at it. And then we'll also take a look at August production updates for DMG, Sphere 3D. These are, we're currently some of the smaller miners that we watch here. Not much progress there. DMG had a little bit more progress than the other one. But we'll also take a look at Ethereum and how much can other proof of work coins absorb once the merge happens from Ethereum proof of work to proof of stake. So we'll find a pretty cool article on that. We'll get into it, but as always, not financial advice. For entertainment only, do your own research as always, and I'm investing in the following coins and companies. So let's get into the markets here really quick, and we'll get into the other things as well. So S&P 500 was up 0.66%, Dow Jones was up 0.6%, and the Nasdaq was up 0.6%. So Nasdaq is on a 2-day rally now, which is good, I guess. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin right now. So Bitcoin right now is at 19,344. You can see here it got really close to our resistance, pretty much at our resistance here yesterday, today as well. Today it switched over to the new day right now at 7 o'clock. I'm recording this, it's a little bit after 7. So you can see we battled with that resistance, or it's basically our resistance at 19,500. Before it was our support. It is our resistance now, and we battled twice with it. Good sign is the more times we battle with it, the more likely we are to go above it. Right now, the RSI is still looking good on the daily chart, so no worries there. And on the 1-hour chart, we can see that we are hovering here right around 56, and we've been kind of going sideways here a little bit. And obviously, we tried to get to that 19,500 mark, but we got denied here once on the 1-hour chart. Let's see if we can see a couple more times. We got denied once, twice at least. We went up and then obviously came down, or twice. So we've tried it 3 times here. The more times we try it, I think we are going to break above it. And then we'll obviously have to battle with our line here, the green line, which is just trend line. And we'll have to see if we can get above this line here, because as before, it has acted as kind of a bearish trap almost, you could say. Every time we got close to this line, we would fall. And you can see going all the way back here to the beginning. We did obviously go above it here a little bit back in April, but ever since then, we've been battling with it, and we've been falling below it as it's been happening. So we want to see that obviously break through that line here, and then we're getting really close to that. So within the next 4 to 5 days, we'll have our answer whether or not we bounce off of it and continue to go up, or if we basically bounce off of it to the downside. So that's Bitcoin. Ethereum is at 1,636. It is behaving the same way as Bitcoin is right now. It's trying to bounce up a little bit here. It is, our side is looking pretty good. We are a little bit higher than we were here on it, and price has been down a little bit, so that's not usually a good sign. It means that we could possibly go down, but with the merge happening, I think we may have a little bit more of an upside potential here going forward. So that's Ethereum. Let's take a look at the miners here really quick, and then we'll get into the other stories here. So ANY was up 3.72% to 59 cents. Argo was down 2.01% to 39 cents. Bit Digital was up 1.38% to $1.47. Bitfarms was up 5.79 to $1.28. CleanSpark was up nicely today, 5.85% to $4.52. Cores was actually down today, 0.48% to $2.07. DigiHost was up 0.66% to 76 cents. DMG was up 7.73% to 23 cents. Greenedge was up 4.52% to $2.31. Hive was up 7.07% to $4.62. Hut 8 was up really nice today. It was up 15.38% to $2.10. Hive has been beaten down here quite a bit here lately. I think it's just maybe a little bit of a relief rally in Hut. There was no news to speak of today for Hut, so I don't know why the stock is going up. Iris Energy was down 3.02% to $4.17. Luxfolio was up 5.29% to 7 cents. Marathon was up 13.53% to $13.26. Same thing with Mara. There hasn't been any news. I think it's because it's been down for a couple days here. And if we look at it really quick, from the peak down to the bottom here, we were down basically 42%. So I think this might be just a little bit of a relief rally. Same thing with Hut, possibly going next to Mawson. Mawson was up 7.53% today to 75 cents. Riot was up 13.89% to $7.46. And so Luna was up 9.62% to $2.85. and Stronghold was up 7.35% to $1.46. So we're seeing a little bit of rallies here in the miners. Bitcoin obviously wasn't up that much today, so I'm surprised that these have been going up. I think maybe because they've been beaten down a little bit too much, and they're getting bought up a little bit. All right, so those are the miners. We have currently 558 days until the next halving event. Once we get closer to that, about halfway from where we are now, I think Bitcoin should start rallying back up. It typically has done that in the past, but we'll see if that repeats, obviously, this time around. All right, so let's take a look at Sphere 3D. Sphere 3D provided their August updates. So here are the main things. 1,080 miners were released from U.S. Customs and are on the way to Compute North in Texas. They already have half of those at Texas. They're waiting for the other half, the other 540. Production for the month totaled 12.76 Bitcoin, which is the same as last month, which they're pretty much stuck at 100 petahash right now. Once these miners do come in, that will obviously help them out a little bit. Total Bitcoin holdings were 74.81, and operations achieved 140 BTC per exahash efficiency, roughly, if you're looking at that. Down here is what we want to take a look at. It's so this is commentary from the CEO. So our discussions with Fufu Technologies, or BitFufu, to renegotiate our September 21st, 2021 contract to acquire 60,000 S19J Pros from Bitmain have been productive. We recently reached an agreement in principle on several critical points of the renegotiated agreement. Specifics will be announced if and when a new agreement is finalized. Obviously, the big thing is price, right? We just saw a day or two ago, CleanSpark buy 10,000 miners at $28 per terahash, roughly. If you're looking at it, so they paid $28 million for that. Obviously, the price of these miners was a lot higher last year, so I would think they could probably get at least a 75-80% discount on it from where they were. But we'll see what they actually come up with. And that is it. Oh, here we go. In closing remarks with CEO, so I am looking forward to announcing the growth of our Bitcoin holdings, our exahashes, and our production over the coming months. Our teams continue to mine Bitcoin while optimizing uptime and miner efficiency. While the market's still recovering, we will maintain a conservative capital strategy that we believe will benefit the company and its shareholders during 2023 and beyond. As technology advances and as the industry matures and consolidates, we will be well positioned to capitalize on opportunities that arise, said Patricia Trumpeter, CEO of Sphere 3D. So they obviously have quite a bit of hash rate to get into still, but right now they're having issues getting those miners installed. So let's just take a quick look at the numbers that I have for them. Sphere 3D, here they are. So looking at the numbers here, 12.78 BTC mined, same as last month. So no increase in that. They're basically flat. BTC per petahash still is flat. And that's because they've been at 100 petahash here since the beginning of the year, basically. They've basically got nothing installed except for the 100 petahash, which is kind of sad. And value on that is about $285,000 in revenue for them. They do have 74.81 in BTC HODL. Looking at it here, they did not sell anything, it looks like, this month around. And obviously, we didn't install any miners, so I'm not going to get into that. We'll take a look at quickly the institution side of things. Institutions did decrease quite a bit here from 43 to 34, and we went from 7.4 million shares to 6.5 million shares, and percent owned went down to 10.46 from 11.48. As far as buy ratings, we saw with one buy rating, and price targets are at $10 across the board, as they have been here since the beginning, since we started tracking this in May. Now, given where we are right now, and the price of Bitcoin is at 19,327 roughly, they are at 59 cents right now. I think they are pretty well valued, maybe even overvalued right now, based on their petahash. But they do have obviously pretty good future growth here if they can obviously get that deal finalized on the 60,000 miners. That would get them to 6 exahash, possibly, if they finalize it. That's obviously still a huge growth potential. So I think that's why they're getting a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt than some of the miners are here. And, you know, they're basically at 59 cents. That would put them at a PE of 20 right now, based on the current revenue for the last 3 quarters, and then this quarter possibly of 2.78 million. 50% net income from that would be 1.3 million. So we're looking at 42 cents roughly, and at 75% gross, 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at 64 cents. So, I mean, we're pretty much right there on it. at a PE of 20 when most of the other miners are around a PE of 2, 3, some are even maybe at a 5 at most. So they are definitely getting a huge benefit of the doubt here from investors, it looks like. And that's based on future growth potential. So that is it for Sphere. Obviously, they got to get the miners in. They are working with their supplier, the customs agencies, everything else to get those miners obviously delivered as soon as they can. Right now, they really need to do that. So that's it. That's it for Sphere. And let's take a look at the next one. Next one is DMG. So DMG blockchain also provided their Q3 results and August mining results. And they're going to be presenting at H.C. Wainwright Global Investment Conference, which we have quite a few miners going to be presenting there. Those are the Q3 highlights. We already covered that in a previous video when they released the numbers. The only thing that I'm really interested in here is the August production, which is down here. So August preliminary mining results. In August 2022, DMG mined 69 Bitcoin and added 87 petahash of mining capacity. DMG's Bitcoin balance as of August 31st was 362 Bitcoin. DMG is on target with respect to its original schedule for received miner deliveries for growing its hash rate to 1 exahash by the end of 2022, subject to receipt, installation, and operation of the additional miners, right? So not much provided as far as news. They did grow 87 petahash and they mined 69 Bitcoin. So let's take a look at those numbers that I have for them here. So let's go back up. So 362 BTC is what they hodl right now. They are at 767 petahash as what I have them at right now. They are going to be at about 1 exahash by the end of the year. So about 35% growth left in that. They mined 69 BTC, which is obviously better than they did in June, which was 54. So it's an increase of 15. Their BTC per petahash efficiency went up a little bit as well to 0.09 from 0.07, which is good. And it looks like they sold about 31 BTC based on the math here that we're doing, tracking it month by month. They sold about 31 BTC valued at about $700,000 roughly. They did generate about 1.5 million in revenue. And these are the miners that we got installed here for August. If we scroll down and over, August, we installed, what did we install? We installed the 100 terahash miners here. And then we also installed these XPs, which I believe they got those in. 300 of those were delivered, and I believe those are going to be installed already. So we got those in as well. I do have the mining at basically 20 and a half days to get us to the 1.5 million roughly mark. So they obviously had some curtailment, or they are at lower petahash, which they did not report, which I know they've been having issues with some of their facilities as well. But this is just kind of where we can get it to equal out with what they report as far as BTC being mined. So those are the miners. Let's take a look at the institutions really quick as well. Institutions stayed pretty much the same, 7. They did increase the shares by 10,000 to 2.83 million from 2.82. Percentage owned stayed the same. We still have 1 buy rating on them, and the price target did increase a little bit to $1 across the board here compared to 78 cents in the prior month. Now looking at the revenue here, we're looking at possibly 31.8 million in revenue for the last 3 quarters plus the current quarter that we're in. With a 50% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at about 15.9 million, and we're using a PE of 11 on them. That would get us to $1.07, basically, where the analysts also are, or at least one analyst is showing a price target of $1. And then if we're using 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $1.60, and that's with a PE of 11. So that's kind of where we're looking at it. If Bitcoin does start rallying, we could be up 15, something like that, to maybe even 20 PE. That would get them to $1.46 to $2.19. They are at 23 cents right now. So obviously still quite a good potential to go up in value over the next 6, 12, 18 months if Bitcoin starts going back up. So that is it for DMG. Nice little improvement here, obviously, getting the hash rate up a little bit to 87, increasing it by 87. And we'll see if they can get to the 1 exahash by the end of the year. And then see if they provide any information as far as building out anything else, buy more miners or something like that. They obviously are one of the smaller miners here. DMG, DigiHost are 2 of the smallest ones as far as their future hash rate growth is concerned. So that's it for DMG. Overall, like I said, nice, but obviously needs to grow more. All right, so that is it for the miners. I think we still have a couple miners here to go through that we're waiting on results for. We're still waiting on Argo, Greenedge, Mawson and Soluna to provide their August numbers, and then we'll go over the miners versus miners and grade them and provide you with my thoughts on them. See which ones are the best in August, which ones are doing the best so far year to date, and we'll get into that in the following video. So if you're interested in that, obviously subscribe and hit the like button. Helps out the channel. All right, that is it for the miners. Now, as you are all well aware of, there's a lot of talk obviously with Ethereum going to proof of stake, possibly this month, within the next week or two. We do have 2 miners, possibly a couple more, that are also mining Ethereum. I know that Hut 8 Hive has regular GPUs. They also have some server grade GPUs that they are using to mine Ethereum. But we also have a couple companies that have the ASICs from Bitmain that also are mining it. I can't remember off the top of my head who those are, but there's at least 1 or 2 in there that have those. So with that happening, obviously the miners are going to have to transition over to high computing or switch over to other coins. We've talked about this a little bit in the past, but I found a pretty good article on it, and I wanted to go over it with you guys because I think it's actually an excellent article here. So let's get into it here. So how much Ethereum hash rate can Ethereum Classic and other coins absorb? We'll get into it here. So hash rate absorption analysis, how much hash rate can Ethereum Classic, Raven coin soak up from the Ethereum? Right, we've talked about these coins as possibilities being in the future that the miners can transition over to. But like I said before, that there's not much that they can transition over because they are going to basically overburden the network, get the hash rate on those networks to the point where it's not profitable to mine. And here's Ethereum's hash rate as of, I believe, September 6th. Yep. So it has 874 terahash right now, and it's an estimated 8 billion worth of hardware that drives this hash rate right now. So it will be easy enough for the miners to switch to ETH hash alternatives and other GPU mineable coins once the merge occurs. Problem is there's a limit to how much hash rate these other networks can absorb before the average miner becomes unprofitable, and it isn't much, and it really isn't because Ethereum is just so large, and a lot of the other coins are a lot smaller. More hash rate means faster blocks, which in turn means higher mining difficulty. The higher the difficulty, the fewer rewards miners can reap per unit of hash rate. So the big thing is going to be, what is their power cost on these miners? Let me see if we can maybe zoom this in a little bit more. There we go. And going down here, you can see here Ethereum is at 874 terahash basically. Ethereum Classic is 48. So what is that? 20 times less than Ethereum here. Raven coin is a lot less than 3.65 terahash, and Ergo is at 23. So about 40 times less in size than Ethereum is. And here's the hash rate dollars per terahash per day: 24,000 for Ethereum, 10,000, almost 11,000 for Ethereum Classic. Raven coin is 36,000, so that's obviously a really profitable one. And Ergo is 5,822. But as the miners get switched over to some of these other coins, the difficulty is going to go up, hash rate is going to go up, difficulty is going to go up, and the revenue is going to go down as well. So the following table examines how much hash rate Ethereum Classic, Raven coin, and Ergo could absorb from the Ethereum network. And they're taking in some considerations into this. They're saying that only 139 terahashes of Ethereum's network could be absorbed. So 15.88% of Ethereum's current hash rate before miners hashing at 6 cents per kilowatt hour power cost with an average efficiency hardware of 2.55 joules per mega hash will hit their gross profit break-even point, basically, where the cost of power and what they're actually getting in rewards is at a break-even price. So you can see here Ethereum Classic is at 48.1. It could possibly go to 93 terahash. So it could absorb about 10.34% of Ethereum's network right now. Raven coin is at 3.65. It could absorb about 3.68, get it to 32 exahash, or 32 terahash, sorry. And Ergo is at 23. It could go up 1.56% to 13.67%, or 13.67 terahashes of Ethereum's network. And the break even would be 37 terahashes basically on Ergo, 35 on Raven coin, and 141 on Ethereum Classic, and that's what's being absorbed here. So it's not a lot to absorb, obviously. Hypothetical Ethereum hash rate absorption. So 84% is basically going to get obsolete hash rate. We got 10.64% going to Ethereum Classic, 3.68 going to Ravencoin, and 1.56 going to Ergo. And that leaves obviously a lot of miners that aren't going to be profitable on this. The other networks in our analysis, Beam, Bitcoin Gold, Aeon, among many others, combined can barely absorb 0.7 terahash of Ethereum hash rate, which obviously that's nothing. That leaves 734.43 terahash, 84.12% of Ethereum's hash rate with nowhere to go, not to mention the fact that the hash rate on Ethereum Classic, Ravencoin, and other networks will be driven to a gross profit of 0 on average, or if they go above it, they're going to be basically negative. The only thing you can do then is basically mine the coins, hold on to them, and just wait it out for prices to appreciate over the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months while we go into the next possible bull run here in Bitcoin and crypto in general. So that's one thing that's a possibility there. And then here's current hash rate versus break-even hash rate at 6 cents kilowatt cost and average rig efficiency. So Ethereum Classic, you're basically at the current hash rate, 48.11. Break-even hash rate would be 141. Ravencoin 3.65. Break-even would be 35.85. Ergo 23.46. And then break-even would be 37.13 terahash on it. So they also expect that retail miners, most of whom are operating with residential power costs, will get squeezed out first. So yeah, anybody that's mining from home, you're paying probably closer to 10, maybe 9 cents, maybe 11, 12 cents even per kilowatt hour. You're going to get squeezed out really quick here when this all happens. Conversely, miners with the most efficient hardware and lowest operating costs will stay in the game longer, which is true. So companies like Hut8, Hive, and others that mine Ethereum, they have pretty low cost structures as far as cost per kilowatt hour, around 3-4 cents. Some of them have it. They can withstand a lot longer. So in our model, for instance, an Ethereum Classic miner with 3 cents per kilowatt hour and a rig efficiency of 2.55 joules per mega hash could withstand a total network hash rate of 282 terahash before reaching break even. So that's quite a bit more. Going further, an Ethereum Classic miner running an ASIC with an efficiency of 1.57 joules per mega hash could withstand a hash rate of 460 terahash. So obviously the miners that have the ASIC miners for Ethereum can withstand a lot longer than those that don't. That's the takeaway. So obviously could be to the point where Hive and Hut8 have to turn off their miners before some of the other miners that have the ASIC miners. What will Ethereum miners do with their hardware after the merge? Well, that's obviously, basically they're going to be either selling them or, mining at a loss for a while until price goes up. So as for the scores of miners who won't be able to realize profits after the merge, what will become of their hardware? Some may keep their rigs on the off chance that altcoin mining economics improve, but more still will no doubt try to hawk their hardware. And we've obviously seen the prices of miners coming down here over the last, basically year to date. They've been coming down in price as the price of Bitcoin has been, or price of Ethereum and Bitcoin has been falling. So has the price for the miners as well. Sorry about that. I take a drink of water and cough at the same time. GPU mining in post-merge world. You can read that on your own. It's going to be obviously a hard time for the miners here when this happens, for Ethereum to go from proof of work to proof of stake. And that's going to be obviously a crazy time for all the miners, I think. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought that was an interesting article there. Kind of goes with what I've been saying here for quite a while, that when this does happen, it's going to be chaos basically until, there's going to be a lot of teeter-tottering in the hash rates and the miners or in the coins to figure out where that equilibrium balance is as far as profitability is and hash rate and all that. And then obviously we're going to shake out all of the retail miners, I think, for the most part. Those are going to be gone. So you're going to see obviously the price of GPU cards come way down, I think, as well, as those cards are going to be hitting the market here. Unless prices of Ethereum or other coins start really going up in price. That may offset some of this, obviously, and help the Ethereum hash rate migrate over to the other coins as well. But it's still not going to be able to absorb all of it. So that is it. All right, so DMG, a nice little increase there. Sphere obviously has to get the miners installed. And that is it. Tomorrow is Friday. We'll see if we get any more miner updates for August And that's it. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously and helps the YouTube algorithm as well to then show the video out to other people that might also enjoy it. And spreadsheet is always available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there for their continued support. That is it. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.